I can't remember a time where I wasn't into drawing. When I was really little, my parents would ask, if anyone would ask what I wanted to be, I said I wanted to work for Disney. But I thought that meant that you got to run the roller coasters and be a princess and work as an animator on the movies. And but that was like the main thing I wanted to do, was to animate the movies. And growing up, like I would watch Rugrats and all animated shows exclusively until I was like 15 or 16, and then I realized that like I was the only one that was still just watching animation. I thought everyone else was as well. But my mum was really encouraging. She would always say that I like would ask for the description of the book visually rather than the name of the book. And she was like, you're a visual thinker, like that's how you should express yourself. And if I had bad dreams, she would get me to draw the bad dreams in the morning. And we would write a story at night about this scuba diving detective. And then in the morning I would draw the comic panels of that. So they were both very encouraging of me being artistic and expressing myself that way, because I was quite introverted and I wasn't very good at like expressing my feelings verbally. And so yeah, drawing was like my way of soothing myself. So I would draw everything all the time. And so when it came to going to university, I did an illustration and animation BA. So I did illustration first because I wanted to be a children's book illustrator, I thought. And then someone said, you want to be an animator if you draw something and it's not the finished part of the story, like you can see it moving, you can see the characters alive, and that means you're an animator. And so I started trying animation, and then I was completely hooked, and it's like magic. Like as soon as you like draw anything and you're like, oh my god, that worked.
Huh? I'm in space! I'm in space in my pajamas! Oscar? Hi.
I think the thing that got me where I am today was making short films. Like my master's, we did a short film, and then I did some for Channel 4 as well, and those toured festivals, and I met people, and that was like really the biggest thing, was meeting people and forming a community. And it was eventually when I sort of started getting sick of commercials and music videos, and I didn't know how to make a career out of short films. I got a manager in Los Angeles, and he suggested, why don't you try pitching a TV show, because it's like a series of short films with the same cast of characters. And I was obsessed with Adventure Time, so I was just like, yeah, okay, that sounds like a good idea. And so I started creating Summer Camp Island as a show bible to pitch, and it was always sort of geared towards Cartoon Network because I loved Adventure Time. And yeah, that was the pathway to this.
Magic is real here, far away from home. Anything can happen when witches make the rules. Monsters are cool, the moon is our friend. I wanna stay with you on Summer Camp Island.
The origin of Summer Camp Island was from my Royal College of Art thesis film, which was called Belly, which was about this lead character, Oscar, and his older brother, which was based on me and my older sister. And they're at the beach, and he has this sort of companion, and it's about coming of age and letting go of this kind of unconditional love you have when you're a kid. And it's very strange. And then when I moved to New York, I was making commercials and music videos, and I was getting a bit disillusioned with it. And so I wanted to pitch this TV show because it was like a series of short films with the same cast of characters, and I was still really obsessed with this Oscar character that was based on me. So he became the sort of origin for the show.
Hup. 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 Bah. Sorry, Oscar, I was going too fast. Hedgehog, never apologize for being faster than me.
Hedgehog! Oscar!
Hey, it's the monsters.
Oh man, I love the monsters.
Let's hang out with them all day.
We're leaving the island, kids. Goodbye forever.
What?
I think in total, one episode takes 8 months from beginning of writing the episode to mixing it and handing it in. We're working on it in LA for about, I would say, 10 weeks before we ship it to Korea, and then it's being animated over there. And then the mixing and all that stuff is another like 3 weeks on that side. So yeah, so that's the process. A lot of it is the animation in Korea is the big bulk of it.
I'm not like you, God Monster. We've never scared children, and Oscar and Hedgehog are our friends. And I'm sorry if that bothers you.
Or if you think we're lesser monsters because of it.
But we like who we are.
And if we listened to Oscar earlier, then he wouldn't be cookies right now.
Hey, what's all the crying about?
Oscar?
I would say the best thing about my job is the writer's room. I go in every morning at like 9 a.m. and it's 3 of my friends, and we just sit around, and the first half hour is just talking about like our days and like things we're experiencing and like emotions we're trying to deal with, and then we're just telling jokes, and it's just a really relaxed environment, and that feeds into the episodes. Like all the episodes are based a lot around like things that we don't know how to deal with ourselves, and just making jokes, and everyone's laughing all the time, and we're looking at YouTube videos and referencing things, and it feels just like hanging out with friends. But yeah, the more relaxed you are, the more fun you're having, the better the episode becomes, and everyone's bringing something different to the table, and that's my favorite part of the day. And I would say overall it feels like school. Like every hour is different. You get to like flit around and like look at designs 1 hour and be in an animatic edit the next, and go to a record and be writing and looking at thumbnails, and that you're never bored, and you sort of learn to have your brain switch from spot to spot. Like if you're kind of ADD, it's really good because it like, yeah, you never have to focus on anything for too long, and it helps your brain sort of be sparking all the time with new ideas because it's always moving around.
And now a message from your favorite camp counselor, Susie. Hey dummies, you hungry?
No, I'm pajamas.
Well, come on down to the mess hall and get some delicious tater tots.
My tater tots, these are all I got. You might think that's not a lot, but wait until you try my tater tots.
I do a voice on the show, Susie, who is the villain on the show, or the antagonist, and she's supposed to be 15, but obviously sounds much older than that, and she's the bad character, which is actually really cathartic to play. We write lines for her, everything you've always wanted to say to someone but never had the guts to say comes out of Susie's mouth, so I get to say all those things, and it's really, really fun.
I hear you doing maths. You're rubbish at maths. What's going on out there?
Well,
Too slow, I lost interest.
I would say advice for someone that wants to get into this would be draw all the time, draw constantly, and just make little projects for yourself. Don't get too stressed out. Don't think about showing them to anyone. I think I always thought that like I had to put them out there as soon as they were done, and I think that makes you a little bit more anxious about the way you're drawing stuff. Like just practice, draw all the time. If you want to be an animator or storyteller, write little stories for yourself. That is also really helpful. And the opposite advice on that one is to get those out there, get notes, get feedback. I think sometimes I wouldn't show stuff to people until it was completely perfect, and then it's too late and you can't change it anymore. And I think when you're in the beginning stages, like getting feedback about your writing and your storytelling is really helpful, and starting a dialogue, collaborating with people is really nice. If you want to work in television, getting into the industry, as soon as I started writing on Adventure Time, my writing improved so quickly, and I got a sense of how that world works. So if you have a sense of what you might want to do, talk to people that do that, get an idea of what it's like, and just meet people. Going to film festivals is really helpful for me, meeting like-minded people and seeing what they're up to, and just starting having a little network. Online friends were also like a big deal. And I would say comic books is a big one for animation. Like if you don't have the equipment to animate, like writing little comic books is a great way of storytelling, and also understanding how to like panel stuff out. And yeah, just doing it all the time. Don't ask for permission, just do it all the time.